just like a guy, like having all these problems, he's looking at cars.
Exactly.
I don't look at cars. I'm not really into cars like that.
Looking at sports.
Yeah, I look at sports.
He like,
Hi, I'm Jai.
I'm Lexi, sorry. And we have a YouTube, it's Soul Food Rice. We really cover different foods in the Atlanta metropolitan area. We also talk about our relationship, and we do date nights on our page. So if you're interested, please follow.
Okay.
I'm Christopher.
And I'm Melody.
What's your channel about?
Our relationship. We cover, I don't know, we cover different topics.
We do. We cover all kinds of different topics, but it's basically about our relationship, anything that goes on in our life. And the channel is actually called Melody and Christopher.
I'm Kyle, and this is PJ.
Yes, I'm PJ.
And our channel is basically us doing like
just things of our interest. So we like games, video games to be specific. We're trying to get more into like vlogging and things like that. So all around our video is just about us and the things that we like and just having fun.
How do you deal with family that don't approve of your relationship?
Jack can answer this one.
How do you do that?
How are you dealing with that?
Do you want us to answer first and not everybody else, or since it's our question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I think that we're going first.
How do we?
Well, with me, it's mostly my mom. So what I do, my mom doesn't like me dating a non-Black man. In her words, how would they know how to help your son? And all this other stuff. But I don't know. I just ignore it, and it's my life. I'm gonna live my life and be happy because I have one life to live. I'm not gonna be unhappy with someone to please my mom. That's not, no, I have one life to live. I'm gonna be happy with who I want to be with. And I have always liked dating outside my race since high school. Something that I like to do, and I'm gonna keep doing it. It's my life. I'm gonna be happy. I don't care about anybody else.
I agree with her, and I don't know. When I was younger, when you try to please everybody, you never make yourself happy. So I kind of learned that if I'm happy with Melanie, it doesn't matter to the outside world of who doesn't approve, if it's family or friends. Because there's another thing: family is not always blood. It's gonna be friends too. So I learned is if I'm happy, I'm the one. As long as I can sleep every night and I'm happy and enjoying my life, it really doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah. All right, PJ.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have said it any better. We recently just having conversations, you know, being in the Q word, I don't want to say it, but had, you know, conversations about just us and our own individual happiness, and that being really important towards our unit in being happy. So him talking about that really kind of brought back up kind of topics that we've just been talking about recently with not only just our relationship, but just friends and family as well. So to answer the question,
we just go
whatever
with the flow.
makes, the same thing they said, whatever makes you happy, you know, and that's what's really most important. And if the people in your life, family, you know, if they don't care about that, then that's not really what's important. It's really what makes you happy.
Yeah.
So
With you guys, is it someone as close like Melanie and Christopher, where it's like a parent, or is it like maybe someone not as close, like friends?
I would say that it's more family. Although I haven't really met them, so I can't even say, but I definitely think there's a bit of unsettling energy when it comes to that relationship. But I think if you save room for communication, then that's important. But if it never happens, then what matters to me is whether or not I'm happy and whether or not he's happy. So
Yeah.
And I'm
That's-
happy, so.
yeah.
Okay, so with my family is Christian, and we believe that everybody's equal. So they never really had a problem with me dating outside my race. It's always been, long as this person's a good person and you share the same beliefs and attitude towards people in life, then that's fine. But we have had where someone close does not approve. And it's a little hurtful because it's not more so my side, it's more so his side. So, whereas he's like really welcome into my family, even though a lot of his family is great about it and they don't have a problem with it, this one person whom he loves and respects has the issue.
Well, it's my dad. It's not my father.
I didn't want to put him out there.
It's all good though. Just the way how he grew up, looking back. I think he'll grow out of it. It just takes some time because he's still his mindset is still kind of old. Like, he just moved here he's not born in America, that's the thing. And he was raised in Thailand. So it's just the way he thinks when he moves here. But I think he'll grow out of it.
Uh,
I got something to add that might help. Doesn't work for everybody, but I've always heard that when you date outside your race, you just keep showing them how much you love the other person, and then eventually maybe your dad might come around. That's why I said not everybody. No, it doesn't work for everybody. Okay.
My mom is stubborn. She was born here in America, but she's so freaking stubborn and is always, you've never tried to date a black man and this and that. I have. And I'm not gonna make myself unhappy for you, Mom. Okay? And she's stubborn, never gonna change. I realize that she's never gonna change, so be it. I'm gonna live my life.
She told me stories when she was when she wasn't with me, but when she was with somebody else. Her mom would go behind her back and try to set her up with a black man because she doesn't want her to be. Yeah.
Seems legit. I was just taking listen.
I'm not even allowed to go up in her apartment. I gotta stay out of the car when she goes upstairs.
What?
Mm.
I don't get, especially with Black people going through what our people have gone through, to ever feel like you have any type of authority to be racist or ostracize anybody else. I think that's horrible because, of how slavery went and how segregation went. Like, why would you want to do what our people suffered to anybody else in any type of way, whether it's really minute or it's a big thing?
Like the cat?
Thank you.
And what's funny is that my ex was Asian and she let him in. She's like, oh, I like him and all this and that. It's only towards the white man I date. It's like, oh, they're white.
But,
I was Asian.
but the funny thing is, when I needed to help her with her sister's stuff to go to her mom's, I was allowed in then. But as soon as she didn't need my help for anything, Nope. He has to leave. He's not allowed to come be it. Because she told her real loud, and I heard in the living room. I already started walking out. I'm like, fine.
I will always just use the lessons of the parents to say, didn't you taught me that I'm supposed to treat everyone equally?
Right.
So why are you treating my significant other not equally? And they usually just
Yeah.
Yeah, not your mom though.
Yeah, my mom is a whole different story.
they always come up with some kind of excuse though.
Oh yeah. I mean, somebody told me once the grandchildren start rolling out, then everything is water under the bridge. Oh, I always liked her. I always liked him. So.
So what is the biggest culture shock? For me, I would say it's the food. It's the biggest culture shocks when I met her.
Care to elaborate? Because what does that mean?
I never actually had like turkey made by other people, and or like Thanksgiving dinner made by other people. And when I first ate her family's dinner, it was interesting.
Yeah.
The greens was not what I expected. I would say that. I never had soggy vegetables, that's for sure.
I mean, I guess it's just like a texture thing, maybe. Like I grew up having like all types of cuisine, so it wasn't that much of a culture shock for me to have different particular like Asian cuisine. But definitely I would say for him, like I would like cook pinto beans or something like that with some cornbread, and he'd be like, what is that? Like, and I would cook that, and he eats it, and he eats some more. So I don't think it's that bad.
Exactly. And for you, PJ, what was your culture shock?
Biggest culture shock for me? Honest, I can't think of one off the top of my head now. Maybe come back to me. I mean, I've really grown up listening to all types of different music, being a part of all different facets of culture. In college, I was VP of communications. Being part of different cultures has always been a part of my life in some way, shape, or form. So to be shocked by it, I wouldn't say I was shocked by it. It's more so just, oh, that's interesting. And then I just immediately kind of integrate it into
She got a whole K-pop collection.
well, K-pop and all kinds of music. But yeah. So anybody else have any maybe culture shocks that
We can go.
Me?
She can go first.
Not really. I don't know. Like you, in college, I talk to a lot of different people. I'm part of meetups, and when I go to these meetups, I love meeting different types of people. And I'm a teacher, and I'm a sub. So what they do is they send me to different schools to work with different children. And I always say I love working with different types of children. You want to send me somewhere north, south, east, or west, I love it. So I've learned a lot about different cultures, and like I've dated white men, Asian, Indian, Latino, Mexican men. So it's like I know about it. So I really don't have like a shock culture shock. So,
I can't really. I kind of agree. I can't really say I have a lot of a culture shock because I don't know. I was born out of the country, so I always want to learn about more cultures. Only thing I could probably say is from dating other people outside of my race, it made me want to learn more about my own culture, which I still learning more about, which is interesting because it's nice to know about your own culture, especially when you're told one thing when you're growing up, and when you actually look it up, it's different.
Yeah.
So I can't really say I have any really culture shock because I get along with everybody. It doesn't really matter what race you are. I get along with everybody. To me, I look at everybody as people. Well, it's
Now you have me off.
oh, sorry. she doesn't like, but here, it's like, she doesn't really want to be on the camera. So she's like, oh, just a little bit. But when I accidentally move it, oh, no, I'm not on the camera.
I think another thing about the biggest culture shock is your hair for me.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's wow. Yeah, because when we first met, I had like Senegalese twists, I would say. And I remember maybe like the second week I took them out and he was like, where's your hair? Like, what's going on here? Like, but I told them like, oh no, that was like extensions and this is like my real length. And at the time, I have locks now. But at the time my hair was like really itty bitty. Like I didn't really have much hair. So he was like, what's going on? And he was like, wow, I would teach him more about my hair. And he was like, wow, you're a lot more beautiful than I would have ever imagined. And that was really refreshing because like I was expecting the complete opposite. Like, okay, what next? Is she like gonna transform her face? Like, like what's going on here? But that was really refreshing. And
when she was cutting my hair, she said my hair was trying to kill her.
Oh, yeah, I cut. I thought straight hair would be easier to deal with because I cut his hair, and surprisingly,
it was trying to cut her.
Oh my gosh. He has very like coarse strands. It's very thick. So it's like piercing my skin as I'm like cutting his hair. I have a video on that too. You gotta see it. But like it was like piercing my skin and I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm used to my hair just kind of being really soft and bouncy and more like spongy. And his is like razor blades, I always say. But yeah, that's a good one. Like she said, that's
really
a good one.
I know we didn't go yet, but I wanted to comment on what you guys just said. So when we first started dating, you wear your wigs and stuff like that. I never really wore my hair out. Like he had seen my cornrows under here, but that was about it. And I would put my scarf on, and that was it. And the other day, I was like, I'm gonna try something. I just kind of like took my hair out, and I put a deep conditioner in, and I just wore it like a big afro. And he was like, I really like your hair. It looks like the 70s. I really like your afro. And then today I put my wig on and he's like, what happened to your hair? And I was like, I think, especially with Black women and dating Black men, there's this kind of like, I don't want to say it's not a stereotype. It's this idea that Black hair is ugly. And I've heard from Black men that they would rather see me with like a weave or extensions versus my natural hair. And it's different when you date somebody outside your race and then they like that part that you've been told that was not up to standard because it wasn't like Caucasian hair or that straight bone straight hair. Because I really love my hair. I like to wear it natural. And it just made me feel even better in our relationship that he values my hair. 2. Yeah. All right. So, what was your biggest?
Really?
It'll probably be the same thing, like food. And having your mom's cooking is,
Yeah.
it's different.
I mean, he used to be like, "Oh, you baby, you can cook, you can cook." He had my mom's cooking. He'll never give me no more compliments. I'm just like, okay, mama can throw down. Okay, I ain't that blessed, but yeah, I think it's just like with like soul food, you get those seasonings and you get those different textures and the meat and grains. But I think my culture shock for you, I've dated a lot of different people because I feel like that's my right as a person. I don't have to stick to one race, you know?
Yes.
It is. So I explored what God created, and I would say I've heard of this before, but I've never really known anybody to actually go through it, where you do the brides from your home country. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, you're American, but you will go get a bride from your native land. You don't really know her. You would, your family would just pick one, and then you'll marry that person.
I heard that. Like some of my friends back in Taiwan would do that, but not ever in America. At least none of the story I heard of, anyways.
Yeah,
Because that is very expensive to get plane tickets and all that. I ain't got the money for that.
I mean, so I guess we didn't go about what cultures or what race everybody is, but Jai is
Hmong,
and that's a part of his culture, and that's something that they do. And his family wanted that for him, and I remember him telling me like the reason why like they probably didn't want him to marry a Black woman was because the idea from media that Black women are very loud and they're very aggressive, and that a woman from his native home will be more obedient and be the perfect wife. So that was a culture shock for me.
Well, I've actually experienced that with my ex-husband. He was Mexican, and his dad hated me. He was like, he actually said, "Why don't you marry a more traditional Mexican woman that'll stay in the kitchen and clean the house?" Because I was in college back then.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, if you want to listen to your father, and go ahead. But it's just not going to work if you try to stick me at home, because I want to get my degree and go to work.
Trust me. When she's been out of work right now, it's driving her crazy that I've only been one working. She's like, I gotta get out and work. I gotta get out and work. She'll be looking for jobs, and then that one's not working. I gotta get a job. That it doesn't work.
Rona is kind of making that hard at the moment.
Yeah.
You deal with racism from others when you're in an interracial relationship.
Cool.
And you want to start? You want to answer that one?
How you deal with racism? What?
Like, because okay, it's how do you deal with racism from others when you're in a relationship? Because us being a mixed couple, you get racism kind of from both ends.
Like comments.
People
staring.
Well, that was the next question.
Oh. I guess comments.
Yeah, comments or just giving negativity. Like, the one thing I always hear is how you supposed to be able to handle a Black woman, or
that one.
like you just, or there's a lot of negative sex comments you hear too. That I'm not going into.
I don't know if you guys get these, but a lot of people have, mostly Black men, have asked Christopher, oh, you can't handle a black woman. You like, can you handle a black woman? So I don't know if you guys get that. I'm like, really? Like, okay,
Yeah. I can probably guess we all do.
There's this one. This was before me and Melanie got together. There's this one white woman. She like went off one time because I said I don't date white women. I was like, I like what? And then she went off. She's like, how can a handsome person like you be? And this was when I was single, and a white woman like me. And then she's like, you know, I have black friends, and they say all those black women are nasty anyway. I'm like, okay, goodbye.
Okay, Karen.
Whoa.
Go get your coffee, Karen.
Like that. It's like, I don't know. Why can't just people be happy for people?
Right.
Why do you have to put your negativity in that? To me, I try to any negative vibes I try to keep out of or just push it away.
yeah.
Really? Wow.
Like somebody's popular. What's going on?
Well, she's been looking up a lot of stuff because we're looking to move.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, for us, we have friends that stood up for us, like literally stood up for us. And for me, I always try to stand up for her whenever I notice, but she always reminds me that there are certain little stuff that is very hard for people that's outside of Black ethnicity to notice. Like, for example, one time we were going to some little shops and stuff like that, and by the time we come out, she would be pissed off, and I thought I did something wrong. And I would be like, what's wrong? And she's just like, there was this store clerk I was following us. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
She was thinking I was going to steal some. I was just like, oh, I thought she was just organizing stuff. And many similar situations too. When we go to Asian restaurants, she would notice that the waiters or cooks will be staring at us while I'm just enjoying my food because I don't notice it whatsoever. Yeah. It's kind of hard to like shield or try to reassure that it's okay. Let them do them because they want to do them. Will do us.
Experiences at the restaurant, like
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. We were we were at this restaurant. It wasn't even a really good restaurant. That's what made us mad. The food was like horrible. But across from us was this couple. It was a Black couple. And it wasn't more so the guy. You know, they were just looking over. But it was the girl kind of like giggling, making jokes. Well, I wasn't in the mood, so it was one of these. You know, like,
Like what?
I usually feel better.
At 90 degrees turn, you know that's the
I usually
go back.
I deal with it better if I'm not hungry or irritable. But this day I was, and she thought something was so funny, ha ha ha. Well, I don't have an opinion about you and who you're dating right now. I don't even care. Like, so I just couldn't get why she would have an opinion about my relationship or my dinner date, whatever, you know. So it did get there.
Mm.
But usually it's just like, okay, let's ignore it. Let's move on.
and we had that comment with that old guy.
Oh yeah, what did he say?
I don't know what he said.
I don't know. It just brings out the neck roll in me. I think he said something about being with a Black man. And then I just don't feel like it's anybody's business. You shouldn't have anything to say about what I'm doing. Okay. Do you ever feel like you're pressured by people around you to kind of like prove how Black, Asian, or white you are because you're in an interracial relationship? That could be from like if you are at a function, so say like we're at a function and it's his family's function, him speaking only Hmong there, not really speaking English, being pressured, kind of like, not like physically or somebody verbally pressuring you to do something, but that expectation is there to fit the mode. So I guess this is our question.
Well, that's your question.
It's our question, but you ain't help me right. So I would say, yeah, and it's not really from my family. I would say it's like people curious, whether that's Instagram or if I'm out. I'm like, oh, you got an Asian man, you know, like, or they start talking to me with more of a urban accent or more like not slang, but yeah,
It is slang.
like slang, to see if I am going to give them that, you know, too proper or me, Christopher, but they term it like, am I going to be like a white girl or am I still the same person type thing. So I do get that, you know, but I just, I'm myself. You accept it or you don't. For you, do you ever feel like your friends
talk a certain way
or act a certain way?
Is that the sour that you mentioned earlier? Everything okay over there?
Yeah, just hard as legs gone.
Yo, she waits till you're not like expecting anything. She got me earlier. Do you ever feel like,
well, I mean, your question was kind of like, I don't understand. Really, when I'm around your family, I guess I don't feel too much pressure. I'm just trying to understand your slang or how you say things. It's hard sometimes, I would say that. So I try to speak the way you guys do, like try to fit in.
okay. I remember we were back home and my family was like, okay, how do they talk down south? And I was like, they say fitna. So we were all around like the island trying to pronounce it the right way. And it was so weird. So, I mean, I would say in the way we speak, kind of, yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I have been pressured by my cousins who are around my age and they're Black. So like if I'm talking or a certain way like I talk right now, or if I want to listen to a certain type of music, like me, I like rock and metal music. I'm a metalhead, headbanging and all that. So they're like, oh, you like that white music. You've been around white people too long. I'm like, no, it's not about that. I've been liking this since I was little. Since even before my mom allowed me to start dating. So this is me. But they want to blame it on who I date. And you forgot who you are and all this. I'm like, no, I didn't forget who I am. Just make me mad and you'll see who I am.
Oh no.
It comes out when you get angry. Yeah.
Like everything. I get that too, because I grew up listening to all types of music. My best friend, it's funny, she introduced me to a lot of different stuff. So I listen to classical music, country, it doesn't African music. I like it all, and it's just about being aware of other people and not just being stuck in your own little African American bubble, because you're in a country where there's so many different people and there's so many different opportunities, and you got to know how to relate to other people. And sometimes music is the best thing. So, you know, getting used to and listening to other music is great.
And that's weird. You say you do have to know how to relate to other people. I did actually work at a school that was like African American centered, and they only taught the kids about African American culture, Black, and nothing else. It's like nothing else exists, kids. This is all that exists. And I'm like, that's good to teach them about where they come from, but you should teach them about everyone and all different cultures. Because when they get older and they go off to college and work, how are they going to know how to relate to other people? They have to know that there are other different types of cultures out there. No. And that was weird.
And for me, I don't really have that issue. The only thing I get at work is they know I'm with a Black woman, so they go like, "Oh, you're not white, you're Black." That's about the only thing I get. Like, because like my family I never had that issue. Like my grandfather would speak German to me a lot, but besides that, I really never had to say, "Oh, prove that you're white or whatever or European." And if they did, I really wouldn't give a shit. I would still just be me. Then that's also what I like about her, because she's herself. She doesn't try to clarify that, oh, this race, or this race, and have to be that way. You're yourself. And I think that's how we should all be, is just be ourselves. We shouldn't have to prove to anybody what we really are.
Yeah.
Everyone. I feel like I'm probably the youngest here.
Thank you, Lily. Can you give us your name, your ethnicity, and your YouTube, and tell us a little bit about your YouTube?
Okay. So I don't have the YouTube, but my name is Allison. Our couple's page is John and Allie. Well, I forgot the other things you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. And what race are you and your partner?
Boyfriend is Filipino. And as I mentioned to you, he's in the Army for basic training, so that's why I'm on here alone. So I'm secure now. How is everyone?
There we go.
Getting you. Nice to meet you officially.
Nice to meet you guys too. Hi, Lexi.
And this is my boyfriend, Jai.
Hello.
Hi, Jai. How are you?
PJ, and guys, can you introduce yourselves to her, please?
PJ, and this is Kyle.
Oh, yes, I follow you guys. Hi.
I'm Christopher. She's Melanie.
Hi, Christopher. Hi, Melanie. So, again, I'm sorry. My name is Allison.
Oh my goodness.
I'm currently in school right now. And my partner, he's in the Army. I can actually show you guys a picture of it. How do I flip this camera?
Yeah,
This is actually us.
Aww, you guys
So,
are cute.
oh, thank you. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and just introduce myself and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
do you mind if we show your page?
Yeah, you can. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the.
I don't know
Yeah.
how good it is to the screen though.
No, it should be fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's us. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I definitely I follow all of you guys already.
I'm not crazy lady.
Man, she's about to get the bag. We just asked the last question, which is, do you ever feel like you have to prove how Black you are? Thank you, baby. Because you're in an interracial relationship.
I don't know.
So you don't know?
I don't know. And I feel like I want somebody else to answer first.
Okay. Whose turn was it this time? Was it you guys, Melody, or was it you guys, PJ?
I think it was.
We could go. I feel as though race, ethnicity, however you want to, it's a social construct.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself tells me that whatever it is that you're interested in or that you love, however you speak, is strictly where you're from, who your parents were. So these things can be vastly different from each individual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are so many Black people in the world who have so many different experiences, and to just minimalize it and generalize it is, I think, a disservice to us as just people, you know. And it's not even just with Black people, but with other people of other race / ethnicity. So with that being said, I don't feel like I'm minimized. If anything, I feel like I am expanding someone else's idea of what they might perceive as a Black person, because they might have thought that all we did was, you know, like stereotypical stuff, what Black people do, they're loud, they're whatever. And they meet me and realize that, well, no, they have other interests too, and she's her own individual, and she has her own interests, and so yeah, that's
Yeah.
that would be my.
For me, no, never. Any people just like, why you aren't acting that way? I'm just like, because I'm acting like myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, you're acting weird. I'm just like, well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's just like, you know, it's kind of rude to go up to another person and say you're acting weird. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all different, and it's about understanding the individual rather than, you know, I know everyone likes to, you know, generalize individuals, whether it be for serious reasons or some people even do it for fun, but I've tried to make it a personal practice of mine that even if I have, because I mean, we're human beings, so we're gonna have what's the word I'm looking for? Perceived notions or maybe thoughts, assumptions about somebody before you get to know them. But I try to wipe the slate clean and try to get to know them as an individual before I, you know.
Human is human.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, you have to not have assumptions, because if people have assumptions like she did, she said she thought I looked like a hobo before we got together. So you can't go off of assumptions.
Oh yeah, you did say all right.
No, don't say it. You gotta.
All right. So
I'm sorry.
random. That's true. Like the whole thing with like your family's like, oh, Black people are this thing, and you didn't even meet me yet. So I can understand that. Chris, did anybody else have another question before we go into one more game?
Sure. Yeah. Which one did you want to?
Oh, we could dance. I think someone already said that, just didn't know who it was. So have you ever thought of moving overseas?
Ooh.
I think everyone in our mind is just like, yeah, we did.
We're moving overseas.
But she said, "Ooh."
Specifically,
love
part
to-
if you do want to move though.
I guess.
Love to go overseas. But the thing is, I guess I'm not ready yet, because I see a lot of TikToks and things on YouTube about, you know, people of color going over to their countries, and, you know, the public rejection and stuff like that, the humiliation, and I guess I'm not ready for it yet. So again, my boyfriend is Filipino, so I guess I'm kind of not ready for that, but maybe down the line, yeah, but not right now.
So you
If
want
that
to
makes
move to
sense.
the Philippines?
Hmm.
You want to move to the Philippines?
No,
Oh, okay.
I would love to visit though, if that would make sense. But not necessarily like move. At least that's not what I'm ready for yet. So, yeah. And I feel like the fourth wheel or something. Everyone's with their partner, and I'm just by myself.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's here in spirit, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
You are welcome. I would have done the same thing too. I would have come alone just to represent me and my partner. And please tell your boyfriend thank you for the service that he's doing for this country. It's a privilege to have freedoms as we do, and that comes with a price, and he's paying that price, so I appreciate it. Do I want to move somewhere? Okay, this year I supposed to be moving to Korea, but then I met somebody who put a wrench in my plan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was taking Korean lessons. I was all ready to go, and then he was like, "Well, what if we get serious? Are you gonna still move to Korea?" And I was like, "I guess not." So yeah. So now we're thinking about maybe going as a couple, maybe like on vacation instead of just moving there, because I wanted to do something different. I wanted something different, but you never know when God has things planned, so you just go with the flow. America's great. He's a cowboy. He is. You are. You're a cowboy. He is.
I mean,
I think for us, we
sound like white, like a white squirrel.
we at least for one, before we got together, I didn't want to move anywhere, honestly, and she was planning to go on to Japan.
Mhm. Yeah, I've been wanting to travel for, I mean, I kind of already touched on this a little bit. I have a cousin who jet sets everywhere, and I've only ever really known exploring other cultures rather. And so going overseas is kind of a natural thing that we do within our family, and I haven't done that yet. So the first place that I've always wanted to go to, because of the culture, and I like to draw and I like anime and all the typical stuff like that, so I've always wanted to go to Japan. Meeting him, his family's from Taiwan. He was born here, but went to school out there, so I guess he didn't really have much of a yearning to like travel because he's already traveled. But I changed his mind a little bit because I've always wanted to travel, and so I've had thoughts about moving overseas. But that's a big jump. So I really have to essentially kind of integrate myself to some extent into the culture and into how the people really are. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a new and exciting journey. So yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, for me, I want to travel and visit and do some sightseeing, but I don't want to live overseas. But I do want to travel though. I wanna travel.
Yeah, we do want to travel.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. It was nice meeting y'all.
Nice meeting you too.
I don't know what to get.
Okay.